All right, we know President Obama and the Democrats are waging war against the rich, but who exactly is the so-called 1%, the rich? It's not who you might think. Stuart Varney is the host of Varney & Company, and is here to explain. You do money for a living, you talk about it for a living. Stuart, I was shocked by some of these stats. First off, if you are, how do you know if you're a part of that 1%?
If you make more than $307,000 a year, you are in the 1%. That makes you a 1%er, 307,000 per year. Now, we automatically assume that's all Wall Street. That's those Wall Street. That's the financiers. That's the bankers. They're the top 1%. That is incorrect. Only 18% of the super rich actually work in finance. Only 18%, about 1 in 5. There are more doctors among that 1% than there are people in finance.
Look at this. Here's the exact numbers. 30% of the executives in non-finance, as you mentioned. 14% are the doctors. And by the way, that number is decreasing, I think. 13% of people in finance, and 8% are lawyers.
So the 1% are not the people you think are the 1%.
Who are the ones running in the ads over the voiceovers that say they're the problem?
Precisely. Now, here's another myth about the 1%. We assume, because they're being attacked, that they make all their money out of the stock market, out of capital gains. That's not correct. Only 19% of the income of the top 1% comes from capital gains, like trading stocks or bonds, Wall Street traders. Only 19% of the money comes from that source. 30%, that $1 in $3, comes from salaries and running a business like regular, ordinary people. Yeah, 22% businesses and partnerships, okay?
And 19% from capital gains from investment and 2% on just other various walks of life.
So, look, here you are. You're demonizing Wall Street. You're going after them. You're saying we're going to take your money, we're going to give it to the poor. A, that is extremely divisive for America, and B, it's based on a false premise. Right. You're going after people who should not be gone after.
You know, we were kidding around. You walked out with Michael Rowe, who represents blue collars in America, and he started an organization like that. But bottom line is, what I get from this segment, you got to work for a living.
Yes, precisely.
You got to work. You got to earn a salary, earn your way up.
Yes. Wait a minute. America remains a meritocracy. There is social mobility up and down. The Pew people did a study of this. 10% of the entire population goes from the very bottom to the very top. 10% of the people who start out at the bottom of the food chain, that's where they start out, 10% of those people go all the way up to the top. There is social mobility in the United States of America, and we should not forget it.
And there's a huge portion of this country who are first-generation millionaires, and that means they did not inherit what they got. They learned what it takes to get what they want.
You inherit your money in Europe. That's the aristocracy. That's the rich of Europe. They were given it. In America, you earn it. You work for it. To this day, that's true.
All right. Stuart Varney, we're going to see you at 9:20.
Yes, you are.
Eastern Time on the Fox Business Network. Thanks so much, Stuart. Great segment.
Brian, thank you.
All right.